Gotti's side woman recently made fun of Angela Simmons for her inability to keep a relationship going. Fans just learned the identity of Gotti's purported baby mother and side woman, who happens to be his artist Layla Samaya. Layla is acting very daring because, you know what, she just uploaded a video of herself and Gotti getting dirty. Gotti has not mentioned this despite Angela's loud sobs about it, and the fact that Layla seems to be enjoying every moment of the drama by making fun of Angela. Given how long he was pursuing Angela, you would think that Gotti would be a little more dedicated once he eventually got her, but because he was unable to maintain faithfulness, he was out here acting irrationally as though he was still unmarried. Layla just made matters worse by claiming that Gotti is the child's alleged father. The drama is about to burst up in our faces, so let us dive right in. Although it is unknown why, many are positive that Layla is coming forward and allegedly confessing to an affair with Gotti in order to get attention. According to rumors, she is merely doing this to promote a single from an album or a future song because her music career is not as successful as it could be. Rumor has it she has been harassing Angela about sending her subs and stealing her man right under her nose. According to rumors, Gotti and Angela got into a lot of arguments after Layla delivered those photos to her the first time, and she jumped him. Angela was desperate to avoid looking bad, so she kind of altered the narrative, but the fascinating thing is that some of the fans kind of clocked a shirt. Back in 2023, Gossip of the City spilled the tea, saying either Gotti and Angela broke up or she's getting cheated on because he was with his nurse boo in Vegas last week in the Aria Hotel. However, it comes out that Layla was the nurse in question. Just before she was signed by Gotti, Layla actually attended college to become a registered nurse, in case you were unaware.
Your initial plan, because I watched one of your interviews, you said Yo Gotti found you because, like you said, you were doing your lay mixes, your covers of already popular songs. So when you hit the gram with it, was that your idea, somebody's gonna find me, I'm gonna get signed?
So actually, I was in college for nursing. So I started off in college, wanted to be a nurse, but that's when I started to post the videos and started to get love. I feel like I was just doing what I love to do.
Yes, the arithmetic is beginning to map a bit too accurately. In any case, following their initial split and after Gotti lavished her birthday with lavish gifts, Angela reclaimed him. According to reports, Yo Gotti splashed out nearly $500,000 on an over-the-top Hermes accessories for his girlfriend of almost 2 years. Among the luxurious gifts was a crocodile Himalaya Kelly Birkin bag worth nearly $300,000 and a matching diamond Himalaya watch worth about $100,000, said the insider. She was absolutely stunned when she opened the gifts, added the source. Gotti loves to go all out for Angela on her birthday. He's very thoughtful when it comes to gift giving and wanted to get her presents that were both unique and hard to source. You cannot chuck things like that without making amends, of course. However, he declared that she was his one and only after they reconciled for a while. Unfortunately, he was still allegedly roaming about with Layla, so that was not the case. But hold on everyone, there is undoubtedly more. Supporters are certain that Layla was after Gotti from the beginning since she was attracted to him. She said in an interview that...
Station?
Yeah.
I asked that because I watched the interview, one of your interviews too. You said you once DM'd Yo Gotti as one of the people you were like...
Yeah.
And that he eventually, opened it once he found your music. So speak on that one.
I actually DM him and I DM Jermaine Dupri. I definitely manifested and praying.
There is more. Layla was the first female artist to sign with Gotti's company, CMG, in 2022. He gave her the pink Lamborghini as a surprise a few weeks later.
Welcome to the family. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the family. How would you do that?
Oh, she said I'm a G. I don't care.
Ain't no time to cry, man. We gotta get the money. Hey, look. Look, ain't no time to be crying. We gotta get.
People are talking, but not for the proper reasons. Now, I am not sure about the rest of you, but it is definitely not common for a label owner to surprise his artist with a Lamborghini. Label owners are not exactly known for being giving, and they are definitely not known for purchasing pricey automobiles for their signees. For those who are aware, for instance, Beyonce only paid Chloe and Miley $1 million for a 6-album deal with Parkwood Entertainment, which equates to roughly $500,000 for each of the two artists. Many musicians have come out to criticize labels for taking advantage of them and refusing to pay them when they were worth it. Gotti deserves praise for not being a shark in the business, but his purchase of a Lamborghini was a bit excessive. People began to suspect that something more was happening at that point. Additionally, fans saw that he frequently vanished from Layla's social media updates. It is not unexpected that fans believe they are quietly getting in behind Angela's back and behind the scenes because he also purchased her an iced out chain and a few of her expensive presents. That is not all though. Were you all aware of the rumors that Yo Gotti had gotten his side girl pregnant and given birth? The streets now claim that Layla is the baby mama in question. Not only were there rumors that they were dating, but Layla also happened to be pregnant at the same time, which is a little too much to ignore. However, things grew worse, so wait a minute. Layla discovered this the hard way, but if there is one thing about the internet, it is that fans are as curious as F. Despite months of pressure from followers, she refused to disclose who her baby daddy was. Because viewers had to guess that her baby daddy is either married or a well-known celebrity who was in a relationship and is unable to publicly claim her as his wife. She has yet to fully divulge who he is. You can see why fans concluded that Gotti is her baby daddy when you put the two of them together. Additionally, it all sort of adds up. It clarifies why Angela Simmons became quite upset about it. Gotti's infidelity was terrible enough, but cheating on her with someone she knows was a smack in the face as well as betrayal. Gotti vowed fervently that Angela was the one for years in an attempt to win her over, only serves to further complicate matters. For example, he publicly expressed that he was feeling her, like heavy, back in 2015, nor was he subtle about it. Down in the DMZ, he proudly and loudly delivered his shot in his song. He said, "I just followed Angela Simmons," without holding back in the slightest. "I have a thing for Angela Simmons, boy. Damn Gotti, you are brazen. Screw it, I'm gonna tell the world," they say. But Gotti had no intention of holding back. He made it obvious that he had feelings for Angela by putting it all out there for the world to hear on the Grammy and elsewhere. And everyone was talking after the song's shout out. People wanted to know if Angela would try to talk to him or maybe give him a chance. In fact, supporters were cheering it on, hoping the two would get along and see where it would go. However, Angela left him on red with no response, no repost, and complete quiet. And that caused people to speculate. Some speculated that they might simply be trying to avoid publicity by keeping things quiet. However, all of that was eventually shut down by Angela. There was no romance at all, but she came forward and said she was flattered. Angela was not catching it at the time, but Gotti might have been in his shot. Discuss a curve. Fans were not buying the Just Pals narrative back then though. Things really started to change when Angela welcomed Gotti to the launch party for her brand Foofy, especially after it was revealed that they had been having clandestine conversations behind the scenes. Furthermore, this was not merely a friendly invitation. Cameras captured them together when Gotti pulled up, and they appeared far too at ease to be casual pals. That is, until social media exploded and people became convinced that there must be more going on. Considering all of the audacious lyrics, the public proclamation of love, and now this cozy small moment at our event, it did not take long for people to begin making connections. To them, it appeared as though a crush had transferred from the song's lyrics to the real world. However, Angela intervened once more and silenced the rumors. She addressed the rumors head on and made it apparent that Gotti's appearance to promote her brand did not imply that they were dating. She said it was just a supportive gesture and a gift of kindness. There was no hidden relationship or behind the scenes romance, just two people who respected one another. Not everyone was persuaded though. Many followers believed that the chemistry they swore they witnessed in the pictures did not fully match her narrative.
Yeah, he came to my event.
We saw he gave you some flowers.
Yeah, they were really nice.
So y'all not together in that?
No.
He shot his shot though.
He's a nice guy, and I'm flattered by everything.
But Gotti ended up backing up a lot of what Angela had already said. In interviews, he admitted that even though he was sending her flowers, gifts, and really trying to shoot his shot, she just wasn't feeling him like that. She handled it respectfully, but when it came to romance, it just wasn't in the cards. At first, people actually felt kind of bad for him. It seemed like he was putting himself out there only to get curved. But then things took a turn. Word started spreading that Gotti hadn't been completely transparent transparent about his situation. Turns out he wasn't exactly the free, available man he had portrayed. In one interview, he casually mentioned giving one of his baby mamas $100,000 for Valentine's Day. He didn't say they were still together, but come on now. Who drops that kind of money on somebody that they're still not involved with? But that's when the sympathy started to dry up and everything shifted. Fans began connecting the dots and starting to think that maybe this was the real reason that Angela never gave Gotti a chance. If she knew he still had something going on with his baby mama, even if it wasn't official, it would make perfect sense why she would keep her distance. And to be honest, that explanation made much more sense than her simply not liking him. Then, without warning, Angela revealed a significant narrative surprise to everyone. The internet went crazy when she abruptly announced that she was engaged. No one knew she was planning a wedding, much less that she was in a committed relationship. However, she kept everything so secret that the engagement itself seemed to happen out of thin air. Angela announced that she was expecting her first child when everyone was still processing the news of her engagement. People were stunned, and the timeline was in a chokehold due to the back-to-back revelations. But for a millisecond, let us be honest, Gotti must have been somewhere in the studio wailing to a Heartbreak Kids playlist, lights off, phone on, and not disturbed. She appeared out of nowhere with an entire fiance and a baby on the way. After all the work, all the public adoration, and years of pursuing her, that must have been painful. He most likely wished he had kept his feelings to himself the moment he saw that announcement. In his song, Save It For Me, he expressed his obvious distress about the engagement and the pregnancy by stating, "Passed my number to Angela. I believed I had her. I became further angrier when her spouse wedded her while handcuffing her. In all honesty, I want to live with her, but I accept that and am moving on. My baby mom was furious since I had not heard from her in a long time." Now, Gotti's frustrations about Angela moving on are giving Drake the chutzpah to publicly acknowledge that he was still playing with his baby mama. You guys, you are spending $100,000 on Valentine's Day presents, sir, and you are still angry that she did not wait for you. Be sincere. He probably did not need the stress for very long though, because as usual, fans set to work as soon as word of Angela's engagement spread online. Let us just say that her fiance's past was anything but clean based on the information they unearthed about him. He has a lengthy criminal history filled with violent and serious offenses. It was a major warning sign, and many people were truly worried. People could not comprehend how someone like Angela, who was well known for her background, values, and polished appearance, ended up with a man who had such a troubled past. The story also made headlines, and social media was ablaze with inquiries and cautions. But Angela did not hesitate to support him. She did not try to hide it or offer an explanation. Rather, she openly supported him, claiming that although he had made some poor decisions in the past, he had since transformed and was now headed in a better direction. The drama did not end there though, as online receipts began to surface and rumors circulated that her fiance was cheating on her. Angela continued to defend him, deny the charges, and try to keep her composure even after that. However, as time passed and the fissures became apparent, she formally declared the relationship was finished in 2017. Fans naturally began to think, well, this must be it. After all those years of putting himself out there and remaining steady, Gotti's time had finally come, and now that she was single, Angela would undoubtedly consider giving him a chance. However, Angela essentially gave him the courteous thanks but no thanks message. She had not looked for him yet. Rather, she began to be associated with another man, Sergio Ibaka, who is an NBA player. However, that scenario happened so quickly that you most likely missed it if you blinked. Since it did not result in anything significant, people assumed that Gotti must now take his turn. No, still, when she started dating boxer Daniel Jacobs in 2020, it was already painfully obvious that Angela's type seemed to be everyone but Gotti. At this point, the entire situation began to resemble a romantic comedy set in real life, with the underdog constantly being twisted. For more than 5 years, Gotti had been openly crushing on her, which is longer than some of us need to complete college. However, because the pursuit was becoming exhausting and others wanted to leave the group chat, supporters were genuinely curious about when he would ultimately give up and move on. However, it appeared that Gotti had received the message clearly and was at last beginning a relationship with a woman by the name of Yaya Sandoval. When Yaya posted a picture of herself with Gotti on Instagram for the new year, it appeared that his relationship with Angela might be finished. I assumed he had a crush on Angela, a nosy follower said. Yaya responded with a clap. Not anymore. Given that Gotti abruptly ended their romance 2 weeks into the new year, Yaya must have miscalculated how serious their relationship was. Angela had discreetly broken off her relationship with Daniel Jacobs at about the same time. Then, at last, it occurred. Angela made the decision to give Gotti a serious chance after he had been shooting his shot for 7 years. Additionally, Angela disclosed that she was amenable to the prospect of marriage. She began talking about Gotti as if she loved him, and you know, the tables were flipped. In an interview, she disclosed that she was even amenable to marriage. She said, like, I mean, I love him. Like, I'm happy. I'm in a great relationship. So yeah, I'm happy. Like, I'm cool. Like, I learned in life, you just gotta go with the pace of where you are. Like, I just don't think about anything. You don't have to rush anything. When things are meant to happen, they happen. She also referred to him as her inspiration. When she said, I just feel like he's the one of my biggest inspirations. We just get each other. He's a hustler. I love watching him. He inspires me to do better, be better. And you know, I'm really happy with him. I think he's a great person. I know, yes, I am familiar with all of you. She is most likely now wishing she had remained true to her convictions and never even considered Gotti. She carved him for 7 years before giving him a chance. Only 2 years into their relationship, he humiliated her and got another lady pregnant. She also has to cope with his baby mama's taunts, which exacerbates the situation. The issue is a flaming mess, everyone. However, do you guys believe that Angela will leave Gotti, or do you believe she will remain faithful to her partner? After leaving 1,000 comments below, watch this next video.